There are multiple casualties at a local high school in Santa Fe, which is south of Houston.
I usually cry off and on. I hear the bullets and all that stuff. I still see the images and fear on people's faces and all that. I can't get out of my head.
Someone handed me the front page of the Chronicle and seeing all the photos of the kids, it's just so hard to conceive.
I didn't sleep and I didn't eat, so I lost a lot of weight. I had low blood pressure and people were worried.
We didn't really know what accommodations we needed till school started. She was basically returning to the scene of the crime every single day.
I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a bomb because I could just feel the reverberation through my whole body. And I felt myself falling. And I hit the ground, still not knowing what was going on. And then all of a sudden, there was just deadly silence. And then I looked down at my jeans and I realized I had bloody bullet holes in them.
I think everybody in the class just looked at each other. We all had these frightened eyes, these big eyes, scared faces. And that's when the shooting, all the consistent rounds of shots kept ringing out.
My phone started ringing and it was her, and my first thought was she forgot something. So when I answered the phone, she was whispering and I said, I can't hear you. And she said, they're shooting up the school, I love you. I could hear the gunshots in the background and she hung up. In the days following, the only contact we had was from the FBI. They needed to gather her clothing as evidence because it had blood on it from the kids that were trapped with her. We got her into a counselor that specialized with trauma and teens, and she was diagnosed with PTSD. At the level they said that she was showing symptoms similar to someone returning from war.
The school did appoint a liaison who would call and check and see if we needed something, but it was 4 months later.
The month of June and July were really hard because it was not that I was hopeless, but it really dawned on me this really happened. The focus wasn't really on the survivors, or more so it was on the victims and that passed away and the victims that were injured. We didn't really address or take the time to settle in it. I think it's important to think about it and reflect on it and have people you could talk to, people you could trust. And I don't think that we were given the space at the school to do that.
I know they did set up a counseling office, but the counseling office was in the same hallway as the shooting. So it was traumatic for kids to go down there. They didn't want to go.
She went back to school her sophomore year, but the trauma was too much. She missed over 100 days, and even the days she went, she came home early. We kind of had to push for more accommodations to be made. She didn't choose for this to happen to her. It's happened, we're moving forward. Now tell me, how do we make this happen?
I had to adjust and tell my teachers, I need to sit by the door. I need to be able to open the door. I need to be able to have some control over what I can control because I couldn't control anything that happened that day.
Looking back, I believe it would have helped to have immediately have a liaison from the school and more personal contact from the administration, something more on a personal level to just to communicate with and say, you know, we're sorry. We are sorry that this happened. I never got that, never.
And them being vulnerable would extend to us being vulnerable as well. And I think that's very important because they set the standards, they set the rules, and they're the prime examples that we look up to. I think that would have been very important.